Good morning, students. Welcome you all in the class of History Civics, and we are continuing the chapter The First War of Independence 1857. So in this regard, I want to tell you that yesterday I discussed with you some of the socio-religious causes which were responsible for this First War of Independence. So remaining socio-religious causes I am going to explain you today. Okay, so listen carefully. So today I am going to tell you about the introduction of railways and telegraph. So how the introduction of railways and telegraph became responsible for this revolt? Listen carefully. Actually, Britishers introduced railways and telegraph in India for their own benefit, for serving their own purpose, but the introduction of railway and telegraph created fear and suspicion in the minds of the people. Why it happened so? Listen, actually the people, they thought that these measures were introduced to propagate Christianity, and people also just feared that now what will happen, the people of belonging to the higher caste like Brahmins and Shudras, they all have to sit together in the same compartment, and the people of all the caste, they will have to buy the ticket from the same window. So it means their caste, their religion is also in danger, it will be spoiled. And there was also a rumor during those days that telegraph poles would be used to hang the people who were not ready to adapt to Christianity, and the railway tax will be used to throw the people in front of the railway engines who were against company's rule. So these type of rumor, these types of doubts and suspicion actually just created unrest among the people against the company's rule. Now children, let me tell you about the fear of English education. That was also a cause responsible for this war of independence. So what is meant by fear of English education? Actually, Christian missionaries and government schools introduced the teaching of English in their institutions, in the convent schools, and it just made the Pandits and Maulvis angry. They became just quite angry as they found it as an attempt to discourage the study of Islamic as well as Hindu scriptures. Means according to Pandits and Maulvis, this introduction of English language will definitely discourage the study of Islamic and Hindu scriptures. So they were severely opposed this introduction of English language. Okay, now let us know about some other socio-religious causes. General indignities that were hurled upon Indians. Means the English, the Europeans often ill-treated the Indians. They used to insult and humiliate them now and then. They could even kill Indians without the fear of punishment. The Indians were supposed to salute an Englishman or dismount from their horse till the Englishman passed from the side, and special railway compartments, hotels, clubs, they were reserved for the Europeans only. And according to some historians, even Raja Ram Mohan Roy was insulted for not observing the above practice. So such type of undignified treatment of the Indians by the Britishers just amounted to the adding of insult to injury. Means it hurt the self-respect of the Indians, and it made the people just against the company's rule. So these were all the socio-religious causes which I have explained you till now in the previous lecture and in today's lecture. Now I am going to tell you about the most potent cause of this war of independence, and that is the economic exploitation of the country of India. Okay, actually Britishers, they introduced several economic policies in India actually to serve their own selfish motives. Okay, trade and industry of India was ruined and its financial position became quite weak. The economic exploitation of Indians and the drainage of India's wealth to Britain became a powerful cause of this popular uprising of 1857. So now let us know about some economic causes that were responsible for this revolt of 1857. Actually, what was the condition? Before the arrival of the Britishers, India was the leading exporter of cotton textile. But after the Britishers' arrival, India's export was declined, and according to the British Government Act that was passed in 1720, Britishers prohibited the use of Indian silk and cotton in England, and because of this, what happened? The share of cotton textile and silk was just declined. It affected the India's export to a large extent. Now let us know about some just other economic policies of the Britishers that ruined India's trade and industry. So listen carefully. Britishers imposed heavy export duty on silk and cotton textile to discourage the export of Indians. Okay, then British goods were imported to India without any duty or at a very nominal duty. Okay, and British manufacturers, they flooded the Indian market with machine made goods, and Indian weavers and producers, they couldn't compete with them. Okay, because in England till now the industrial revolution had occurred. Machines were just invented there, so production work was done very rapidly. So all this just manufactured goods they were exporting in their colonies. So India was one among them. And in India, just the production work was done manually, so Indian manufacturers couldn't compete with the machine-made products of Britain. Okay, then Indian traders had to suffer at the hand of the British traders, because they were not getting those privileges which the British traders were getting. As a result of the anti-Indian economic policies of the Britishers, the art of spinning and weaving just finished. Okay, and what happened then? The peasant and farmers, they were growing poorer day by day. So why it was happening so? Because through the Permanent Settlement Act, okay, what happened? The zamindar was supposed to collect the revenue in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, and these revenue collectors, they were quite harsh towards the peasants and the farmers. They claimed more than half of the produce as land revenue, and poor cultivator, poor farmers, they were just forced to borrow money from the money lenders at heavy rate of interest, and the peasant, they just held the Britishers responsible for their poverty in India. So the poverty of the peasant, it also served as a reason for this great uprising of 1857.